Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. I'm Kel with the Planner Isle, and today I'm reviewing the May Intention Box by Cloth and Paper and walking through all the ways you can use what's inside. The theme this month is analog planning, which is essentially drawing from past experiences to sort of guide how you plan for the future. It's a pretty common method used in project management, and I'm interested to see how they incorporate the analog theme into practical accessories. I've been a bit underwhelmed by Cloth and Paper sub boxes lately, but I did catch a few sneak peeks of this box and I do have high hopes. I saw several things that caught my attention and I'm excited to jump in. Make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts and rating, and as always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions or topics that you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. First, we have our What's Inside card. On the front, you have a photo print of a hallway and maybe an office or a gallery of some sort with the word Reverie written at the bottom in a warm orange, and on the back, you have a list of what's in the box. Last month, we had green as our accent color. This month, it looks like the accent color is orange, which is a nice color for May. Next, you have the July calendar card in the 2025 design. These live in my business agenda. And then we have a journaling card set this month. This is the gallery card set. It comes with this silver binder clip and an orange barcode in the theme color. Taking this off, this fans out into a really beautiful sort of stacked card display. There's 6 cards total, each with a different photo and message in various shades of black and gray. They are printed on a semi-transparent thick vellum and they all are perforated, so if you want to separate them, you can. So this is by far one of my favorite items they've sent. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of journaling cards, and this set checks all the boxes for me. It's minimal in its color, unique in its design, and I love that you have the option to use this as a statement piece. So maybe leave this open on a shelf or corner of your desk, or you can separate them and use them as you would a regular journaling card. Each one has a great message that speaks to a love of planning, and because each card has a slightly different photo to print layout, you can use them in different ways throughout your agendas. I also love that it's vellum and not cardstock. It adds a layer of sophistication and just really one-ups the look of your planner or office space. Seeing it fanned out like this, it reminds me so much of an art gallery, like the dividers that you see in large art spaces where they separate different exhibits, which I suppose is where the name comes from, but this is a really beautiful set. I don't think we need this little orange ticket here, but a lot of folks appreciate the packaging. It does match the theme color and it doesn't take away from the design of the actual cards, so I'll just end up tossing it. My only issue is deciding whether I want to use this as a one gallery of cards or separate them and use them in my planners. I may end up having to purchase another one, but I'm super pleased with this set. It meets the expectations of what I hope to see in a luxury planning box, and now I'll just have to make up my mind where and how I want to use it. Next, we have the Reverie storage holder dashboard. It feels odd to call this a dashboard, but that's how they're listing it, so that's what we'll go with. This is a plastic PVC zipper pouch. It's hole punched for your planner size, and it comes with an orange zipper matching our color theme for May. Opening this up, you have a light gray soft cardstock with Reverie and the definition embossed on the front, and then a little brown and white sticker with Cloth and Paper and the May theme branding. So this is a super functional accessory and such a great way to add additional storage in your agenda. Some of the more common uses for planner pouches are to house stickers, cards, page flags, stickies. Maybe you have some documents or cash or receipts or something that you need to have on hand. These make a perfect storage spot for those smaller or thinner items. And because it has a zipper, you don't have to worry about things falling out, which may be a nice alternative if you have that issue with planner folders or pockets like this one. I also like that it comes with this little card here to add a little decor. With this, as well as the orange, it spices up the pouch and adds a touch of design without looking or feeling clunky. You can also utilize the card to hide whatever you decide to put in here. So maybe you have sticker sheets that you've cut up, or maybe you have receipts that you're waiting to expense. You can hide them behind the card so your planner is tidy and important items are stored away while still looking nice. I'm also glad the sticker came separate so we can decide if we want to use it or not, unlike last month's where the sticker was already adhered to the dashboard. It allows the simplicity of the card to show for those that don't like the layering design that they've been sending lately. One thing to note is the full sizing of this pouch matches the size of what your insert would be. So for example, I'm in A5, so the entire pouch is A5 size, not just the opening, meaning you cannot fit an A5 document inside. Given the width of the opening and the height with the zipper, this card is pretty much the largest thing you can put in here. For A5, that would be about 4.5 by 7.25 inches, but it should be the same ratio for other planner sizes. Another thing to note is this is not intended for thick or heavy items. Not only would it bulk up your planner, but you can see this is super thin. There's barely any give here, so you don't want to stuff it too full or you risk damaging the zipper or tearing the plastic. This is a fantastic accessory for anyone with limited storage in your agenda, or if you just want to add some depth to your rings or discs. My favorite thing about it is it's true A5, which means it doesn't add extra width, which is great for people who use dividers. You don't have to worry about blocking your tabs when your agenda is closed, which is nice to see. I'm not sure what planner I'll use this in just yet. I really like the way the orange blends with the dark brown of my main agenda, but I already have a pocket here in the back, so I don't really have a need for it there. I'll have to do some thinking on this one. I may end up using it between sections or something, but she's pretty stuffed, so I might have to use it in one of my supplemental planners. Either way, this is a fantastic addition to the box, very useful, very clean, and a great nod to the color theme for me. Next, we have one set of inserts this month. These are the everyday journaling inserts. There's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total, and then one demo page at the back. So these are pretty simple, straightforward inserts. Each page has 4 sections with a space to write your focus, a spot to list the date, and 7 lines to write ideas, aspirations, gratitude, or really anything else you want to document. Looking at the demo page, they have an example of logging something you're grateful for. Here they have what their intention is for the day. Both excellent uses for this. Keeping with the journaling theme, these could also be a good insert to use for self-reflection, especially if you're working on well-being or self-care. You could use it to track your mood, or you could even use it as a brain dump when you're feeling scattered. So maybe use the focus area to write what you hope to accomplish, and then list below all of the distractions and lower priority items that might be threatening whatever your goal is for that day. Sometimes writing it out and seeing it on paper is the best way to tackle those challenges so you don't get overwhelmed. Because it's an open format, this would be a great insert for work use or tracking projects. You could use the focus area to list what your target is for a specific project and list the tasks below that you need to complete to get there. You could list different milestones or log your progress with your longer term goals, or you can use it as a simple priority list and highlight the top 3 or 4 things you need to accomplish that day. That's what I love about these less structured inserts. It really gives you the freedom and versatility to use it in a way that's most beneficial for you. I'm not sure how I'm going to use these. I've got a ton of inserts in storage I need to go through, and I think I may have some that are similar to these that are in my lineup to try, but these are excellent inserts, easy to use, and a great tool for a number of areas in your planning routine. Next, we have a set of transparent gallery stickers. There's 4 sheets total, one with 72 small arrows, 42 medium and large arrows, 72 icons, and 24 rectangles, so 210 stickers total. These are transparent, so they blend in really seamlessly on your spread. They're also squared, which really shouldn't be too noticeable unless you're using these on a colored or textured background. The first 3 sheets are clear, but the rectangles have a slight beige tint to them, which looks really nice against white. Looking at the arrows first, you can use these to highlight important dates or appointments in your agenda. They work as a nice alternative to highlighters or transparent dots and help draw your eye to the spot on your page that you're referencing. I like that they send us 3 sizes so we can use them with a variety of spreads and layouts. And I like that the arrows themselves don't have any fancy tips or ligatures on them, so you can point them in whatever direction you need to. Icon stickers are some of my favorite stickers to use in my routine. Here they include 12 separate icons with 6 each for us to try. Starting from the top, there's a calendar, book, checklist, appointment, flag, a pin, pie chart, phone, think bubble, heart, food, and a suitcase, so a pretty well-rounded set here. Along with categorizing events, you can also use these as a way to replace text if you need to, especially if you're working in a small area on your page, or if you use a smaller planner size like Pocket or A6. So for example, maybe you use the suitcase to mark the date you travel on your monthly spread instead of writing out travel. You could do the same thing for the heart or with the phone. Instead of writing in the detail, you can use the icon as a key to know what you're referencing. The only downside about these multi-icon sheets is the quantity. While it's convenient having multiple symbols on one sheet, usually you end up using more of one icon than the others, and you end up having to purchase additional sheets with stickers you don't use to get the ones you do. That's why I lean towards just purchasing individual icon sheets so I don't have to worry about running out as quick. But if you're testing the icons or wanting to try a different style, then this is a great method to use. Last are the rectangles, and these are perfect for blocking out dates or creating time blocks on your spreads. Depending on the size of your boxes, a lot of people use these to list paydays or birthdays or to list other appointments. You can write on these with an oil-based pen, or if you're not a fan of your handwriting, you can use a template and print on them, or do what I do and use a label maker, and then you can stick them on your dividers or folders or anywhere else where you need a label. I really like these, and they're a great example of using stickers to add a level of personalization and functionality to your agenda. I don't have plans to use these, but that's because I have a very specific system for using stickers in my planner, but these are great to have. You have a wide variety here, and they're perfect for anyone wanting to add a layer of practical decor to their agendas. Next, we have a set of page flags. Cloth and Paper calls these page pins, but they're essentially thin page flags. This is the second set that we've received. We got these in a blue-gray palette last year in June's Atelier box, and I love, love, love these so much. You can use them in the same way that you utilize page flags, but the cool thing about them is how thin they are. They take up much less space on your inserts, so you can use them very similarly to how you would use block stickers or washi tape. What I use them for the most is to mark tentative dates on my spread. A lot of times, if I have upcoming vacation or a break at work coming up that's further out in the future, I'll use these as a sort of placeholder, and then when it gets closer, I'll replace the flags with washi tape like I did here, and it looks so much better than wider page flags when you're working in a smaller space like those you see with many date boxes on your monthly and weekly spreads. These are also a perfect size to mark recurring weekly tasks. I made these a long time ago, but I ended up cutting a flag down so it didn't look so large and so it would fit inside narrow lines. If you have repetitive tasks or things you need to move from week to week, this is a good way to mark those. You can use a label maker, and then you can house these on your dashboards, dividers, inbox, or wherever you store your flags. The colors here are really nice. You have your warm orange theme color, a lighter pink, medium gray, and then a darker gray. And they're transparent, so you can layer this over text if you need to, and it doesn't add bulk or anything to your page. I'm really excited we got another set of these. I will be adding these to my daily routine and including some extras on my page lifter. Great play on page flags and a great addition to the box. Next, we have a set of 3 page markers, and I think one of these comes according to the size you select for your subscription, so for me, that's A5. They all come in a thick matte plastic, very similar to the thickness of a divider. First, we have a marker for a ring agenda. It's transparent with cloth and paper at the bottom. Next, we have a marker that's punched for a spiral planner. These also work with their notebooks as well. And last is a solid marker that's unpunched for bound agendas or notebooks. And this one has quite a lot of text on it in white. I'm not going to read all this, but feel free to pause the screen if you want to read through it. So this is a really neat set of page markers. The punched ones almost work as mini dividers, and the solid one works well as a bookmark or placeholder. They feel really sturdy, and I love that it's matte plastic, so you don't have to worry as much about scratches or fingerprints. It's also a perfect place to house your page flags or smaller sticky notes for easy access, especially if you use this before your scheduling or note section. I think these are a great option to mark your page, but I do have to say I'm personally not a fan of these in my agenda. I think they're functional and can serve a number of purposes, but visually, I just don't like how it cuts off in the middle of the page. If I'm not using a full page divider, I tend to gravitate to full length dividers as opposed to those that cut off further up. I don't mind if they're narrower, but when it's shorter, it comes off really choppy and it doesn't give you that cohesive look that longer dividers have. So looking at this one, for example, the width is cut off, but the length is the same as the page and it flows much better. Whereas here, it almost looks like it was cut off by accident. That's purely personal preference though, but just something that I wanted to note. The other thing is, while I think these two markers work fine, the one for rings is a little too wobbly for my taste. You can see here, because it doesn't have that fourth ring to give it support on the bottom, it just sort of wobbles around, which feels really insecure and can look messy if you don't constantly adjust it. The idea for these are great though, and for those who like the smaller style, the bound marker and the spiral one will have a lot of fans. For me though, it'll be a pass. Next, we have what Cloth and Paper have been previewing quite a bit, and that is the Commonplace notebook set. So we have a set of 3 notebooks. They come wrapped in this orange rubber band. Taking this off, first you have a little card here that gives you the detail on each one. So first we have the monthly folded pamphlet notebook. This is in Pocket Plus size and comes with 12 months on a beige cardstock. Second is the exposed spine undated daily notebook in A5 size. This comes with a full year of dailies and has a transparent vinyl cover in the color olive. And last is the Spiral Graph Notes notebook in HP Classic size. It has a frosted plastic cover and comes with 220 pages of graph notes. So starting with our monthly Pocket Plus first, this is a really interesting little notebook, and to be honest, it's less of a notebook and more of a set of monthly cards that can be bound together as a notebook. Each page has the months listed at the top with a Monday start calendar underneath, and then at the bottom or on the left-hand side, depending on how you hold it, you have 2 columns with 13 lines to write monthly events, appointments, tasks, or anything else that you might want to include on a monthly overview. It also comes with this little bungee cord that you see quite often in travelers notebooks, and because it's Pocket Plus size, the cards fit inside the 2 travelers notebook cases Cloth and Paper sent previously, as well as the LV Pocket Agenda and any other cover that fits a 3.2 by 6 inch notebook. So taking the band off, you can see your monthly overview in full, and you can use this exactly as you would a monthly spread. Taking a look at my monthly for May, it's actually not too far off from the layout I use. Because I use a 1-page monthly, I'm also working with limited space, similar to the card. So here I would just highlight the month, fill in my dates on the calendar, and then I use dot stickers and icon stickers to mark important dates and time off, and then write the detail at the bottom. That way, the monthly calendar stays clean and easy to read, since you can't do all that much writing on the calendar itself. Since it's broken up into columns, you could use the left column to write the events from your calendar, and the right-hand column to list and check off any tasks for the month. I think this is a great little calendar, whether you use it as a notebook or use the individual cards separately. If you did want to separate them and use them on the go, you could put the card in your wallet, or if you're using a smaller agenda or one where the primary intention doesn't include a spread like this, you could put this in one of the pockets and pull it out as you need to use it. It's also undated, so you don't have to wait until January to use it. You have the option to use it whenever you want. I really like these cards and I appreciate the dual purpose. I don't really have a use for monthly cards at the moment, but I can see these coming in handy at some point during the year if something random comes up, or if I need a small overview on the go. Definitely going to keep these around if and when that time comes. Second is the Open Stitch Daily Notebook. It comes with an olive green transparent vinyl cover that you can remove if you want to. I'm going to take this off because it squeaks a lot and it picks up fingerprints quite a bit. So with the cover off, you have a soft textured cardstock cover in an off-white color. On the front, it says Cloth and Paper, 365 days, and on the back, you have the longitude and latitude of what I'm assuming is the Cloth and Paper office. This is an exposed spine, which is the second time we've received this style. It's definitely a love it or hate it design, and it looks a lot less polished than a closed spine, but the good thing about it is that it allows your notebook to lay completely flat when it's open because you don't have all the extra material blocking the way. Opening it up, you have your name page followed by 365 pages of daily spreads. The paper feels slightly thinner than their inserts. I tried finding the GSM of the paper, but I can't seem to find it. If someone knows, please let me know in the comments, but it's pretty standard and it doesn't feel too flimsy by any means. So each page has a semi-structured layout broken out in 3 primary sections and 3 main columns. At the top, you have an area to write the date and 2 blank boxes for your headers. Underneath that, you have a column with a checklist to list your tasks or priorities or things you want to complete for the day, and then 2 columns split by your time blocks here in the middle. I'll talk about how you can use these in just a second. And then at the bottom, you have 3 columns with a checkbox for each that you can use however you wish. So you guys know how I feel about dailies. I just don't use them in my everyday routine, but I'm kind of jealous of those that do use them right now because they get an entire yearly notebook that they can use. But the interesting thing about this one is the layout. I can't say I've seen anything like it. The time slots are from 5 to 12, which for most people will cover their entire day's worth of events. What I like most about this layout is the 2-column break for each time slot. It allows you to split up your tasks by type, or if you're like me and you need half-hour blocks, if you have a 10 o'clock meeting and a 10:30, for example, you could write your 10 o'clock on the left-hand side and your 10:30 on the right-hand side. You could also split up your columns between home tasks and work tasks, or if you're working on multiple projects, you could write your events or tasks for each project on either side to keep them separate. This is also a layout that lends itself really well for checklists or task planning in general. You can write out wish list, grocery list, or to-dos for that specific day, and then use the tiny boxes to check it off once complete. This would also be a good spread to track your recurring tasks that happen each day, or if you have a habit that you're working on, you can use this to track that as well. So maybe you started a new exercise plan and your goal is to alternate the type of workout you do each day. You could use this bottom section to write that specific workout that you did. So for example, maybe Mondays and Wednesdays you do upper body, and Tuesdays and Thursdays you do lower body. You can write the activity and the number of sets and reps in each of the boxes to log your progress. This is a really great notebook for those who utilize dailies. The layout is super flexible and can work for a number of different types of planners, which is always great to see. I won't be using this, but a lot of people are really going to like this. If you don't like the exposed spine, you can use the cover if you want to make it a little more sleek. I don't like this cover, but this is a common size and you can purchase covers separately that may better fit your style. A very solid addition and great addition to the Mesa box. The last notebook is the spiral bound notebook. This is an HP Classic size, so it's fairly large. You have silver spirals and a thick frosted cover. I originally thought the orange print on the front was on the front dashboard, but it's actually on the cover itself. And here you have various little intentions scattered across the front, mainly grouped around the photos. One says thoughts, introspection, reflection, moments and experiences, inspiration, ideas, mind gaps, planning, scheduling, tracking, sketches. It looks like these are all examples of how you can use this notebook, which is honestly pretty genius. The design fits the May theme to a T, and it gives a nod not just to the theme color, but also the gallery journaling card with the hazy monochrome photo board here. Flipping over, you have your name page, and then you move into your layout for this notebook, which is an open graph spread with an area to write your topic and the date if you choose to. So this is much more my speed. I love a graph grid. I use them in all of my planners and my work notebook as well. You can use this in so many ways, whether it's for notes, project planning, goal planning. You can make charts or graphs or mix and match. Since there are so many pages, you can even split this up into separate sections and use each section for a different purpose. I don't do well carrying around large spirals like this. It's definitely a desk planner for me. I plan on using this as an idea board for the planner aisle and content. Right now, I've been doing idea planning in my business planner, but I'm really limited when it comes to space. Having an entire notebook like this will allow me to draw and sketch things that I'm thinking, cross out things as I change my mind, and categorize my ideas by sections without being restricted to the small number of inserts I can fit on my rings. I also love the look of this. To me, it just looks and feels like a project planner with the text over the photos. I'm an absolute fan of this and I can't wait to use it. This was such an interesting addition that Cloth and Paper sent. Getting 3 notebooks that all sort of work together if you want to use it that way is really incredible. I feel like even if, like me, there's one that you won't use, it would work great as a gift, or maybe it's one that you put away and grab later down the road if your planning style changes. I also like how they bundled these with the rubber band and how they've used orange throughout this box in general. It's the perfect balance of color with the neutrals, and it doesn't feel too overbearing. Very nice notebook set for May and for the year. Last, we have 2 writing utensils this month. We have 1 pen and 1 highlighter. Looking at the pen first, this is the Zebra F301 retractable ballpoint pen. This one has a 0.7mm tip. It's a really nice looking pen. It looks very professional and almost mimics those fancy stainless steel mechanical pencils that you see a lot. It's also on the smaller side, so this could be a good pen to carry in your bag or keep in your car. Doing a pen test here, this does write smooth, but the ink flow is really choppy. It definitely writes like a typical ballpoint pen. It does feel nice in your hand though, and I love that it's retractable. You don't have to worry about misplacing the pen cap. Unfortunately, this just doesn't write well. Maybe I got a dud, but if this is the universal experience, then this probably won't be a great go-to for most planners. Next is the Zebra Mildliner Stamp Arrow Marker in the color Apricot, and this is not a highlighter, it's actually a stamp. It is dual-sided, so similar to the standard Mildliners, you still have your fine tip on the other end. So testing this out here, the stamp actually works pretty well. You get a good amount of pigment and the color is pretty even for the most part. You do have to make sure you have the arrow in the right direction, but this is a nice stamp and it's in the theme color, which is nice. I probably won't use this, but if you're a fan of dot markers or you need an alternative to stickers, this is a great option. I'm glad that they sent a marker instead of a second pen. I'm not a fan of pens in these boxes. I just don't use them all that often. I do like getting highlighters and markers and pencils though, so I'm glad that we got something different this month to try out. And that wraps up May's Intention Box by Cloth and Paper. So y'all, Cloth and Paper really came through this month. I've been so underwhelmed with previous boxes, but this box feels like a truly luxury planning and stationery subscription. I didn't see where the analog theme came into play, but that doesn't even matter to me. I really felt the value and intentionality in the products chosen this month, and we didn't have any quality control issues that have unfortunately been a recurring theme this year. It was so hard picking a favorite item, but I'm going to go with the gallery journaling cards. It's completely different from any other journaling card set, and the option to use it together or separate adds a layer of innovation that makes it really stand out. My least favorite item this month was the page markers. I'm not a fan of the mini divider look on my page, so those I will likely end up gifting or putting away in storage. All in all, I'm rating this box a 9.8 out of 10. This was by far the most functional box that we've gotten since they announced the new Intention Box and surpasses the expectation of a luxury subscription. The fact that we got 3 full notebooks is insane, and it's the type of thing that I feel like subscribers can truly benefit from. Cloth and Paper's slogan is "There's luxury in simplicity," and this month they really struck that balance between minimal design, unique products, and adding that pop of color that manages to add visual interest without coming off cluttered. I really hope they continue to build on this direction. If so, then I think they will have a lot more satisfied customers. Absolutely phenomenal box, and I can't wait to see what June brings. And that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit that like button and subscribe. You would help my channel out a lot. I do these detailed reviews each month, so you can decide if this subscription is the right one for you. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.